What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for this weekly astrology forecast for the week of May 10th through the 16th of 2021. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. So grateful that you're joining me here on YouTube. If you haven't, check out the website, www.fixedairmoon.com, for daily content, weekly sun and rising, tarot show, a cool community there to hang out with, and access to a Facebook group. Good times. I hope to see you there. If not, super grateful that you're here checking out this video. I will timestamp this when I'm done so that you can come back and check out the quick little rundown of the days that I go through in the charts with you. I mean, it's loaded this week, and I'm a little late. I've been feeling definitely some of this Mars-Uranus sextile, Mars-Chiron. There is an electricity in the air, and with Mercury on the North Node, I mean, we could definitely be feeling a little restless. We can be feeling like mind is going 100 miles an hour and trying to figure out and connect all these different dots this week. And, I didn't sleep. I'm going on, I don't know how long, like over, close to 40 hours without sleep. And I'll show you why, in case anybody's curious. I was taking photos of the Milky Way. So that's kind of my new hobby. I'm definitely getting better. And spent an all-nighter under the stars doing that. But woo, it took a toll. But at the same time, I'm still feeling like a lot of this electricity. So there is this undercurrent where we're starting the week with a lot of electricity. And it is this new moon that we're coming into. So on this Monday tonight, when I'm dropping this video, we are in this very dark moon, and a moon Uranus, moon sextile Mars. That moon's making squares to Saturn. There's a lot going on with the moon in Taurus right now, and I think we're trying to figure out definitely what does ground us and what brings us the best, and closing out cycles too that are not stimulating in our environment, that are not grounding us, that are not bringing us value. If we're doing things in life that we don't value, is it going to feel good? Like, do you think I'd go out and stay up all night and take pictures of the sky if it didn't bring me a sense of value? No, I loved it. So that's the thing, is I think we're getting a very good look at what we do value, what we want to put our time and energy into. And does it bring an undercurrent of electricity into our life? Does it give us a sense of emotional satisfaction with what we're doing? Interesting. We're going to see Jupiter come into Pisces this week. That's huge. Also, the new moon, of course, on Tuesday, tomorrow, is sextile Neptune. There is a heavy spiritual influence this week. And it can be a little foggy, but I think this week is absolutely magical for coming into spiritual gifts, coming into true healers are going to emerge big time, and they're going to start seeing the benefits of this week, like on a personal scale. It's going to be big. And then, of course, Jupiter is going to spend all of next year in Pisces. So this is kind of this is almost like the catalyst this week. And with this new moon in sextile, of course, to Neptune, I mean, talk about being in tune with the universe and the oneness and the compassion to ground and have value for what is the ultimate life, what is the best for people right now. And Uranus is in this mix, sextile Mars. And this Mars is at fall in Cancer, but gosh, that gives a major electrical current to our emotional state. And are we doing a life and living a life that is connecting us to the right type of electricity, to the right sort of insight? Are we channeling our energy into things that make us feel creative or make us feel like a sense of innovation, right? To be quite simple. Also, that Mars is square Chiron in Aries. That is it. Ouch. Square. I'm going to be honest with you. And it happens exact for this new moon. I mean, this is a powerful new moon on Tuesday. With Mars in fall position here in Cancer and Chiron in Mars's home sign of Aries, I mean, that just makes this a very difficult square. And I think there are major gifts and acceleration coming through in so many other areas of the chart. But at the same time, there is this victim aspect. There is this aspect with Mars square Chiron of not feeling in your power, not feeling worthy that you deserve to have the best. For some reason, carrying some sort of guilt that you should be powerless in this time, when there's so many other aspects saying that you shouldn't be, and that you should be valuing your energy to the fullest and manifesting and bringing in more of the abundance that you desire. This is a new moon in Taurus. Like, you deserve the best. This is one of those times in the astrological year where we get a good look at what is the best, what is good, what is quality, what is the quality of life right now. And are we emotionally feeling like we're getting the best quality of life, or are we emotionally feeling beat down and victimized? And there's a part of that. And I think that with this Neptune sextile, there can be a fog, a heavy fog on people too, to where you are giving away power. I'm not saying you are, but there are people out there that are going to be feeling completely powerless, in a complete fog, in a trance. And of course, I have my own beliefs on why that might be. And I will show you some astrology today with Jupiter entering Pisces that, well, something to consider. We're going to see Mars quincunx Saturn this week. So Mars in fall is going through a lot, and that is a weird aspect to Saturn in Aquarius, which Saturn's getting ready to station. Saturn's going to station and go retrograde on the 26th. No, that's the eclipse on the 23rd of May, so very soon. So Saturn's starting to slow down. We can't just rush into every connection in life right now. And I think Jupiter finishing up at 29 degrees is also giving us a sense of that. Like, there are so many options that we can connect to in this universe right now, but are we connecting to the ones that make the most sense in our personal lives, in our environment, with the North Node in Gemini, Mercury, the dispositor of that North Node, dignified in Gemini? Like, we have to be curious for truth right now. We have to be stimulated by truth, and not just in a belief system, especially with these nodes on Aldebaran and Taurus. Archangel Michael energy is heavy this week. And I think that we all sort of have that protection, and we can use that power and that ability to cut cords in our life too, with that sword of Archangel Michael, for what isn't of our truth, and what isn't of the best, and what isn't going to bring us the best value. So, very big week when it comes to connecting to what is the best for you. I don't think that there's any just one best way to live a life. I think that there's a quantum best out there for humanity. We're all living a very unique life, but just being in tune with your frequency of the best and of the proper connections, I would say, just for you and where you're at right now is everything. And making sure that we're aligning with those people that are on a similar sort of innovative progression or evolution, if you will. And I think that some people are not on an innovative progression, or kind of going the opposite route, and it's meant to be that way. And I think that's where we can find a lot of compassion with this Neptune sextile on this new moon on Tuesday as well, to where, we don't have to judge so much. We're all connected in a very special and divine way, and it's just a fact of the matter that there's a lot of duality in our world right now. But does that mean that we have to look down upon other people for a different belief? That's very South Node Sag. If we just believe that we have everything figured out and that our way is the only way and it is the law, we're really not giving the North Node in Gemini a chance for that independent, individual, more factual-based truth of the person living their own life. Because we can't just assume that everybody should believe the same thing or have the exact same values. Something to think about. And then we finish off the week with a Sun Trine Pluto. So, and Venus will be 1 degree away from that conjunction with the North Node as we finish off the week too. I think we're in a very amazing time, especially with Pluto at 26 degrees. We are on the brink of seeing a whole new sort of structure emerge. We're seeing old systems kind of fall apart. They're just not standing up as strong. Like, Pluto is a wrecking ball, and this is right before the Declaration of Independence. So we're talking 1775, 247 years ago. We're seeing a whole new guard come in with very Capricornian things, government structures, institutions that we've known or have been so stable in our lives for so long. We are seeing Pluto get ready to rewrite, knock the dust off some old energy and bring in some new. It is death and rebirth with Pluto, always. Are we going to accept that, or are we just going to hold on to the old system? Was the old system that good? Did it bring us value? I think that's also where we're at too, is like, where's the value at? And is it spiritually connected with Neptune trine this new moon? It's beautiful. It really is a beautiful new moon. Very powerful energy. And we're coming into eclipses with a lunar eclipse on the 26th and a solar eclipse on June, what is that, 10th? So pretty amazing times. Very fated eclipses coming up, very powerful, with a Mercury retrograde Cazimi on a solar eclipse. I mean, woo! And a Jupiter in Pisces. All right, we're going to jump into the charts now and go through the week. All right. Well, we start off on Monday. Of course, this is at 11:16 a.m. on the West Coast, so this chart is already outdated. We have already lived through this, but today we had Sun and Lilith, we had Uranus and the Moon. There was an electrical and emotional undercurrent to this Monday where we could have felt so much emotion, so much stimulation, especially with Mercury North Node and Aldebaran, where we had to make big choices for the light. We had to make big choices for what we truly value. And I think when we're in this dark moon phase too, like, we really are cutting out energy that what isn't the best, what's stale, it's almost like we can hoard energy in Taurus, but at the same time, we have to really cut things out that aren't great. We got to make sure that we're going in the innovative, especially with Moon Uranus path to, and be responsible for it too, with a square to Saturn today. Like, there's a get down to brass tacks, like, connect to the best energy in life. Don't just connect to anything. Don't just give your energy and your power to anything. What is of your truth? What is of the best? I think that was really what Monday was about. And it was very emotional. And it was almost like breakthrough, where you're just going to do what you know feels right to you. And with Mars at 10 degrees coming into that second decan of Cancer, it's very illuminated here about our emotions, and it's squaring Chiron at 11:11. Look at that. There's a little synchronicity for you. And then also sextile the Moon, sextile Uranus. I mean, this was a Monday where we really had to look at our emotional strength and make sure that we valued the direction that we're moving in, and that we value ourselves enough to cut out what isn't of the best any longer, so that we can move forward with our healing and not be a victim to stale shit. I'll be honest. I'll just say, like, there's stale energy out there that we don't have to connect to anymore. And with Mars starting to quincunx this week to Saturn, it's like, you can push, but you got to set some fucking healthy boundaries too. You got to make sure that you're connecting to the right groups. You got to make sure that you're innovating. And if you're not innovating right now, I think you can feel really stuck, especially emotionally. Like, I just don't have the energy to get things done right now. And it's like the mind is like, no, you see everything, and you're connecting to your ultimate truth, and you got to act on those things. You got to switch things up. Like Gemini, especially with Venus there, like, switching things up is actually going to make us feel better. Being stimulated by new energy. If we don't want to be in stale energy, with especially coming into Gemini season with these eclipses, no. So Monday, I think, was a very, very, very emotional day where you felt this electricity within you. And where did that take you? What did it show you? Did it show you that there's better in life and that you can let go and close chapters to what isn't? It did for me. Here we are at the new moon. I mean, this is a wild new moon. 21 degrees. So, I mean, just at that degree, it tells me that this is a big, expansive energy that we're feeling within our physical world and what we're connecting to. And I think what we're grounding to, what is bringing us a sense of here in the now. Like, what is anchoring us to this earth? And are we ready to have the best and live the best? We came here to experience so many things. And I think that this is one of those new moons where it's like, your spiritual, divine human nature is the best. And I think that the sextile to Neptune is proving that, is that to live the best human experience in this physical reality, in our time space of here and now, there really does need to be a higher connection. Otherwise, if you don't have that right now, and you look at the reality out there that isn't connecting to the divine, it's all fear. there's not much value. There's not much, go out and enjoy yourself. Go out and, smell the fresh air. In fact, don't even smell the fresh air. Just cover your face. So we're in a time where, gosh, if you're not connecting to divine energy, you're really in a place of fear. And it's a scary time to be in that. I mean, you look at just media, which Neptune rules the media, fear everywhere. It's gross from my perspective, I'll be honest, and not that I'm saying that people that are scared are gross, but I really don't like to see people scared. And I feel that energy when I go out in public. I can feel people and how they're scared. And that's too bad. I really don't like, to be empathic where I can feel that energy. It's harsh. And gosh, I pray that, people do find their value and their confidence to stand in their divinity and their human divine nature and ground in that, because that can bring such a stable, confident energy into our world right now. And even with Black Moon Lilith right there in the mix and in sextile too, gosh, what a better time to just do you, to do what makes you feel good, especially if you feel like you're connected spiritually to the divine. And the divine's saying, hey, if you get an okay, like if you ask, because it's always a good time to ask the divine, if you want to do something a little different, a little wild, mix it up with all the stimulating Gemini energy, and Black Moon Lilith on a new moon, like ask and see what your guides say. I bet you get a sign, and it's like if you might have been second guessing it, the universe is like, hey, it's time for you to break out into your value system with a Uranus there, sextile Mars, really backing up that energy of the Mars Chiron square for this Tuesday. I'll be honest, this is such a powerful new moon to where you're in such a divine, grounded, spiritual connection, and you're doing what's best, and you're rebelling. There's rebellious energy to have a good life. Because in a lot of ways, you're told not to have a good life unless you, gosh, it's so, unless you get stuck in the arm. And then even then, it's like you still got to do all the other, nonsense around that. So I don't know. It's like you could wait all day to be told by the media to live the best life or to have the best, but really they just want you to get something that they want everybody to get. You could just break free, step into your independence, your power, and your individuality with Uranus, and really, go towards what makes you feel nurtured, taken care of, and grounded in your own human nature, your own divinity. And I think that there's something very powerful with that. And again, Mars in 2-degree orb to this Saturn in Aquarius. So we have this beat down Mars at -1, which is still doing a little bit better than usual here, but Saturn +8, so luckily it's an exalted moon for this new moon. I think that we're getting major expansion, and with Jupiter here at 29 degrees too, I mean, this is kind of opening up our frequency to all that we can connect to. And I think we have to pick and choose what's empowering and what is of the ultimate value and what is divinely connected in your own human nature and what is not. Like, you don't have to connect to shit that doesn't feel good. In fact, you should be looking for new youthful energy with the Gemini energy that's here too. And Mercury trine Saturn, like, just, be responsible for your truth. Speak up for your truth. Be responsible for your environment. Stop letting, other people dictate the world that you live and the life that you live in your world, in your own just neighborhood or your own house even, or your own car. Gosh, Gemini rules cars. It's wild to me that people drive around with a mask on, like, by themselves. Like, geez. I guess that's being really responsible in your car. I think that when it comes to what's stimulating and exciting in life, we have to sort of set boundaries of the connections, of the groups of people. And there's major gifts if you're connecting to the right people, to the right groups, and to common twin-like energy with this Gemini too. So people are a great gift in our life right now. And I think Jupiter too at 29 degrees is showing that with this Aquarius Jupiter. But gosh, they can also be the wrong connections too. And the ones that manipulate and force you and push you. There's peer pressure energy in this chart too. So are you stepping into your own truth, your own value system, or being peer pressured for this new moon? I would say set the intention to just be true to your values and be true to your divine nature. Gosh, I just think this is a week, especially Thursday when Jupiter comes into Pisces. Individually speaking, I think we're going to see immense gifts and connection to the highest high, to God, to source, to your own guides. All of that energy is going to start to really, really flow. And I think there's amazing, beautiful gifts with Jupiter coming into Pisces. And I think that this new moon is like the precursor to a lot of gifts that you can tap into if you're willing to trust your intuition. And I think with so much emotional aspects into our action, like it's a lot of chariot vibes with Mars here in Cancer. Like, are we ready to leave the old? Like, you look at the chariot card in tarot, right? And it's leaving the city. Like, are we ready to go into the divine and go where the divine's pulling us and not just stay in some old stagnant space, but really be curious for what is the new truth and the spiritual mission, and how do we ground in that value system and have the confidence to be in it too, and to stand strong and really hold your divine line for what you do believe, whatever you're channeling, right? Whatever it is that Source is telling you is unique and amazing to you, hold that line. It doesn't have to be whatever anybody expects it to be. It doesn't even have to be what you expect it to be. Gosh, there's energy in this chart too that's like, we can try and figure it out all we want, but the divine has a plan. And we just have to be open and receptive to that and be confident that it is the right plan. Wednesday, we got that sun that's going to come to 22 degrees. Very, very sort of rebellious energy on Wednesday. And it is Mercury day. We're going to see Mercury also in exact trine to Saturn. So I just think that there's a lot of stimulation, especially within our mind. And we're sort of like at a place of like going nuclear if we didn't really ground in what's the best and not play the victim. If we played the victim, we might get literally shocked on Wednesday, mentally and physically, to the point where we really feel like, wow, we really maybe made the wrong choice, or we got to switch things up, especially with the moon coming into Gemini. It's going to be stimulating to the max. Like, Wednesday is an extremely stimulated day. And I think that it comes down to like, what are you willing to switch up to have the best? Moon, Venus, what feels good? And Venus, Chariklo, Chiron's wife, and the moon, they're going to be in trine too. So I think there's a major grace when you're finding common energies and you're connecting to the right frequencies of people, but also having that grace to just, be in your spiritual truth and love people, love humanity. There's a oneness with the sun also in sextile fully to Neptune, where, we can really channel amazing, beautiful, creative aspects and wholeness and, divine human nature, as well as just mother nature too, with Taurus and that having a very earthy energy. Gosh, there's an electric vibe to connect fully to yourself, to ground and be with Mother Earth, and just be present spiritually, but grounded here. And I think stimulated to make any changes in the physical world that you're being pulled to by the divine, that you're being pulled to, that's going to ultimately help you heal and have the courage. Like, Mars square Chiron here can bring up, this can be a major healing aspect where you're forced to be courageous for what's going to take you to the next level within your emotional sovereignty, within your own personal freedoms, within your own personal, what are you pioneering? What are you starting? Are you ready to do it and commit 100%? This could be Wednesday could be a great day where you just make a huge change for something better, even with people or connecting to the right relationships. You might see very clearly what is the best and what isn't the best. Thursday is pretty amazing. We get Jupiter entering Pisces. Now, I will pull up this chart on my computer for you. I have it pulled up here. Not that one. That one. I don't have my other monitor up, so I'm just going to check and make sure. All right, we're here. So here we are. This is the chart of December 27th, 1855. This is the last time that we saw Jupiter enter Pisces with Neptune in Pisces. So this is Poseidon and Zeus, brothers, sons of Kronos, in Pisces together. I mean, this is very interesting times, and even if we look at, some of the history here, this is right when we saw, John Brown came to Kansas to fight the forces of slavery. This is when you had pro-slavery and anti-slavery. This is what kicked off Civil War energy. So we are in very dualistic times. And in a lot of ways, we're looking at this duality as pro-V, anti-V, pro believing in the media narrative, not believing in that at all. Gosh, there's so many different ways. Blue versus red. And ironically enough, back in 1855, it was the Democratic Party that wanted to keep slavery. It's so interesting now that you kind of look at what's being pushed by these political parties. It's very interesting. And which one, God, who's in the fog, right? Who's Neptune really deceiving right now? And you know what, to be honest, history kind of shows one way, and shout out to the Leo King as always. He's done a lot of research on this and definitely enlightened me. I did some of that research on my own, but he really enlightened me to, look into some of that more, and he's done a lot of work on that. So I shout out to David Palmer, follow him, and I would say get his paid video specials too. I mean, he puts out amazing truth in those videos, and I want to shout him out because him and Christopher Witecki have been a huge inspiration for me, and I just want, him to have credit, because without him, I wouldn't know a lot of the astrology I know. So here we are. We're coming into that energy. We've already been feeling it. And where is the fog at? Where is the spells at? Who's spelled? Who isn't spelled? Gosh, we don't really know. But you know what we do know? Just within ourselves, what feels divinely right, divinely connected, and where the universe is pulling us. And I think, you can look at galactic astrology, which would have this wave, and we are right here crossing the galactic plane. We are coming into this higher frequency of consciousness. This would be like Atlantis up here. Atlantis. And then here we are. This was the kingdom of hell. This is what we came out of. Patriarchy, monarchy. We're going back up into great times, and this is like big 26,000 year cycles. So, it's like 12,600 years up, 12,600 down. We're just coming up into Aquarius here. This is like the first step out of Pisces, the age of Pisces. Getting this Neptune and this Jupiter, both the rulers of Pisces here. This is big time energy that we're coming into. And I think that we're going to see so much on an individual level within ourselves. We're going to see so much spiritual growth, and our gifts, so many gifts come out. Like, you are going to see more healers start coming out and putting out the light work, putting out their truth, putting out, whether it's tarot, astrology, Reiki, anything, any sort of divine healing to help people, whether it's diets, any of that. We're going to see next level healers emerge that are going to be so for the collective, so for the oneness, and so for the truth of the divine, and not the truth of a media narrative of what's best, but of a divine narrative that actually is best. It's going to accelerate us and move us into the age of Aquarius, which we are not in just yet, but we are transitioning into it. We are right there. So Thursday's a great taste of that, and I think we do start to see gifts, and I think we do transform something spiritually with that 0000 Jupiter, very strong in Pisces. We got Jupiter at +5. It hasn't been at a plus over a +2 or 3 in 2.5 years now, so it's pretty cool. So I'll just say that. And it is Jupiter Day, and I feel like there's a major abundance that we're going to start to see and feel and
I'm super pumped for that. We get this sun at 23 degrees, so there's this very hermetic sort of degree with the sun where we need to see both sides. There's a lot of duality out there, and I think we're going to start to see it. And I think another thing with Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces is manipulation, but from the media. God, if we thought that there was media manipulation before, like if you're seeing that, you're going to see more and more of it. But that's not where the gifts are. The gifts are in the divine, not the media. And I think this is where we have to make decisions on Thursdays, like, well, we got to be hermetic, we got to be grounded, we got to be in the etheric, we got to be both places, we got to be connecting in all aspects. But, you know, when we get the facts, when we get the truth, what are we doing with it? That moon's going to cross over Mercury. There's a lot of stimulation, and that needs to be acted on. And as Mars gets even closer to the sextile to Saturn, like there's a duty and a responsibility to act on your truth emotionally, to act on what is going to bring you a real sense of security within your own frequency. And it's going to be at that 13th degree, which is a very erratic degree too. So it's almost like there's erratic, rebellious energy just within us that has to be paid attention to and looked at and felt so that we can listen to the divine and move into the direction that's going to be best for us. And I think that it's new energy with so much Gemini and the North Node there, and it's light energy too with North Node Aldebaran. And I think that we're very protected in this time, especially if you're in your light work and you know you're in that space. Like, you are good. Don't trip. Don't get stuck in any fear stories. Taurus, the big red giant of Scorpio, the heart of the Scorpion, beautiful star, and my Mars is conjunct it. But with the South Node there, like, it's overblown beliefs, overblown stories. There can be fear with the heart of Scorpio, so Scorpio can bring up fear. So don't let fear take you out of your divine nature, and have the courage to be sovereign in your emotions and connect to like-minded energy. And it could feel weird, it could feel sticky, or blocks. There could be blocks up if boundaries need to be set. And that moon's also going to come off of a sextile to Chiron. So I think we can definitely make, big leaps forward for ourselves emotionally, but I think it's by going into the new direction, by going into a more stimulating sort of healing path, or pioneering something that's more of the truth, more of the divine. Friday, Venus Day. We're going to have that moon still in Gemini, but it's going to finish up and move into Cancer, but not before it squares off with Neptune. So that's pretty heavy. And we also get a quincunx to Pluto. And a sextile to Eris. With the moon at 26 degrees, I think we really want to feel good. We want to feel grounded, and we want to see the beauty of our reality. But at the same time, there's a transformation that we have to we have to be willing to understand deep within our emotional body. And it's a weird quincunx to Pluto that we get in Gemini, because we almost have to make a decision from our gut. But then we have to be able to act on it mentally. We have to be able to speak it. And that square to Neptune is almost like, geez, are you in such a sensitive place that you're just in the fog? I mean, gosh, that's the thing too, is we could all be in some sort of fog, but are you at least gonna own your divine fog if it's divine? I think, I'll be honest, and this is just my opinion, if you are in a divine place with spirit, with the universe, you're not in the fog. And I think that you'll see on Friday something strange come out that makes you really question things, makes you really question structures or what the media's telling or giving a narrative of. And with Venus at 6 degrees too, it's like, wow, does this information actually make us feel good? I don't know if it does. I don't really think this information feels good. I'm going to switch up to what is more stimulating and better in my own life, in my own environment, and have the confidence to do that and the courage too. Saturday, we got that moon dignified. It's going to meet with Mars. Definitely emotional, but I think there's a lot of power. That moon's going to square Chiron. And we have the Mars quincunx to Saturn also. But we also have the moon in trine to a fresh. It comes off that the day before, but we get that sort of energy coming into Saturday is like, wow, that intuition could be lit up for the spiritual gifts, for the spiritual connections, for the oneness, for really the like intuition could be coming through very strong Friday and Saturday. And it's like, are you ready to empower that and have the courage? Don't feel stuck, though. There's that sensitive energy with the square to Chiron. Like, gosh, we can be so sensitive to energy on Friday and Saturday that we actually just get stuck in the mud and hold ourselves back when there's like chariot energy. And I mentioned that card before, but like that's kind of the energy of the week is like we need to get on the chariot and go towards the divine. Wherever it's calling us, like time to leave the old behind, make a change this week. And that sun at 25 degrees, wow, you know, and I didn't even look at that really going in. I just went here with that first, but that is a very spiritually connected degree, 25, especially with grounding in Mother Earth, in Taurus, and our feel good and our confidence. So this is a spiritually confident day. This is a confident, intuitive day. With the moon trine Jupiter in Pisces. This is where you start to see big gifts come out. And you're either empowering your gifts or you're taking them to the next level or you're stuck in the mud and you're not listening to the universe trying to take you into the greatness. That sun's also going to be a degree away from Algol, the demon star. So there can be some sort of chaining energy, and Pluto is even trining Algol. So it's like people can get indulged in like too much good stuff. Algol always reminds me of 666. Because 6 is Venus. So it's like good. It feels good. It's earth. It's the goodness. It's the quality of life. 2 6s is like really good. Really good. 3 6s is like too much good stuff. Like 7-Eleven. Like get out of there. Sugar rush. So that's kind of where I look at it as like we can overindulge in too much good stuff. But if the goodness is spiritually connected and the divine's leading you to it and bringing you the abundance, like that's where the gifts are. Take it. Don't think that you're not worth the gifts. I think that's a big thing too with this new moon that we're having. You are worth great things. You are worth all the goodness that this reality has to offer. I think that's a big trap in the spiritual community is that you don't deserve nice things or money's bad or, no, money's not bad. We need money. It's energy. You just got to look at it as energy. Does it have some sort of spiritual value? If you have a better or more comfortable life, can you help more people? Yes. Yes, you can. Sunday, we got the sun's day. We're going to have the sun on Algol, trining Pluto. I mean, we finish off this week on Sunday with pretty much a bang, and I think that it's where we really find either all the good things we've been looking for and uncover that truth and, grab that bull with Taurus by the horns of life right now. And we make big things happen. And we're going to see the moon trine over to Neptune. Like, are you ready to make the transformation for the best spiritual? It's an enlightening week. Like, are you ready to go take the elevator to where God wants to put you on the mission that you came here for right now? And you kind of have to leave the old world behind and get real serious. 26 is a very serious degree. So it's like, get serious about what is the best in your life. Don't overindulge on the stuff that's detrimental though. So you have to make a transformation to step into a more pure, more, I would say, spiritually connected environment or home life or relationship, or just take care of yourself and have that intent that you're putting that nurturing aspect into your reality, into your life. And the moon's going to finish off too with that sextile to the sun and Algol and oppose Pluto. So Sunday's got a lot of transformative vibes in it. I think it's like you got to get serious for this life and this world and what is stimulating. And Venus will be 1 degree away from the North Node. So, like relationships. And this is where Venus really like came out of, it was 8 degrees, but that's where it started its shadow of the retrograde last year when it retrograded in Gemini. And then it went all the way back. So Venus is like rewriting stories too from a year ago, like when it comes to relationships and values. And it's like, did you choose the right value system, or do you need to make another change? And I think that you're going to see a ton of facts about what that is when it comes to your personal life, relationships, money. And this is where it's like, are you ready to make the biggest transformation to have really a valuable, confident, amazing, beautiful, spiritual, grounded, connected lifestyle, and build your life around those structures and have that security within yourself to do it? Well, Sunday's kind of like initiation for that. And I think you got to get down to brass tacks for the life you want to live. All right. Well, I'm exhausted. It was a long night last night, long day, but I'm happy to get this out for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed my little interpretation on this. It's an amazing week. I think there's amazing, for spirituality, for spiritual truth, for gifts, spiritually, gosh, I can't think of a more beautiful time to be alive right now, in all honesty. So I think if you've been putting in this work in just your any way, shape, or form, if you're just holding a high frequency of light and love and compassion, you are going to start to see so many beautiful things blossom in your life right now, and you deserve it. And don't ever doubt that you deserve it. This is a week where I think you see those gifts pay off in the best way possible for yourself. And we got to come through we got to get through the duality somehow. And the best way to do it is to be in a state of compassion and love, to love yourself, to be confident in yourself, and to trust the right people and trust that you're in the right connections that are divinely aligned, that you're not being manipulated by people in your life or by anything outside of self, but finding your groundedness, your security, and owning it, and owning all the goodness that you do deserve to have in this life. I love you all so much. I hope you have a blessed week, and I will see you next time. Peace.